What's going on, boys? Today we're talking about money and contagions and a few other things. But we'll start with the idea you need to get out of your head and join your community. It's an idea I agree with. However, I think people tend to misuse this idea. They view the community being among other people as the cradle of everything good, and staying in your own head as generating and allowing to fester negative ideas. But it's the complete opposite. Isolation is the only position from which a person can love other people. If you stay alone in your head, isolated from other people, you start hoping. You start fantasizing a world, a society, people who don't exist. And if you make the mistake of isolating yourself for too long and allowing this idealization to fester, you start making bad decisions based on your hopes for reality. You can't afford to isolate yourself and start developing ideas. You need to put your soul among your people and keep it there so you know every day, you affirm every day what people are, not what you hope they are or what they could be. You need to put hope to be or hope could be in the same basket you put should be or should have been. It's not real. When you keep yourself among people, the reality of what people are becomes a thorn between your ribs. But that's what you want. That's a good thing. And I'm realizing now you need to be thankful for the unhappy things in the world. The things you view as bad or wrong with the world are doing you a kindness. They're under no obligation to reveal to you how bad they are. They could surprise you with how bad they are, but they aren't doing that. They are showing you right now and reminding you every day if you let yourself be reminded. People seek and misuse power. You know where people are going and what they're going to do. You can't trust anyone. You know to keep your ass covered. You know people like ambushing perceived targets. You can take measures not to be a target. Everything bad about people and the world you know you live with daily is an opportunity not to make a mistake, perhaps even to make a good decision. Two preface examples before we get into one of today's primary examples, or topics. That single mother in need I mentioned a while ago. She came in about a week and a half ago asking for money, and I gave her about $10 because I don't have the moral fortitude yet to stomp on someone in the middle of a sob story. But I found out today she didn't follow up on the housing thing I set up, and that was an embarrassing conversation. And she didn't even attempt to communicate with the organization I did the letter of recommendation thing to try to get her a job with. So you've wasted my time and made me look bad and knowingly manipulated me out of $10. And it wasn't even a manipulation. I knew what was going on and I handed over $10 because I'm weak. And actually, we'll just leave it at that example for now. That sets everything up, the idea up well. So, in terms of ad revenue, about this time next year, if the channel goes at exactly the same pace it has been for the last year, will have around $1,200 to draw. And I was thinking about doing an arts scholarship competition thing. Best song gets $300, best visual art gets $300, best short story gets $300, with a loose idea of what you might spend it on and why that would be helpful to your craft or career or scholarship, culminating in a nice community video showing off all submissions and linking to artists' whatever, socials. But I realized something. That would do no good. There's something else I've learned in charity work. Maybe it's a perspective. You're getting stuff from organizations or solo corporations who are more interested in a write off, something tax deductible, than they are in helping people. And most of the people you're helping are bastards who feel they deserve whatever they're getting. You don't get many thank yous in charity work. You get a whole lot of women between 50 and 60 who are just now realizing they've wasted their lives and now want to try to save the world, but don't actually want to do anything. Little arachnid control freaks jumping between webs of money that's almost certainly being misused, and people who need help but are angry they need help and can't pick fights against the people who have made them need help, so instead try to pick fights with the few people trying to help them. You need to see this every day so you don't forget it. So you don't isolate and forget for a second what people are. Doing a community giveaway would be the equivalent of flushing $1,000 down the toilet. Life seems to be a series of learning and relearning ugly lessons until you are finally strong enough to accept them. And this isn't to say you should never help anyone. There is a strong instinct to want to help people. This instead is saying funnel that help instinct into people who deserve it. And the rest can rot because that's what they deserve. And that got me thinking about different uses for money. Because $300 per category, that's nothing. Nobody would win fairly because I don't know what I'm talking about. And the few people who would win because of nepotism, and there would be no checks in place to ensure the earnings went to what they were supposed to go to. Trying to do anything outside an organization is like a sketchier orgy. It starts as a bad idea. It can only get worse. So why would you even be stupid enough to entertain the thought? So where else would this money go? Well, a bunch of things finally clicked in my mind about defense. The varieties of war equals money are not that uncommon. You hear them discussed regularly. And you hear people or hear about the idea people are dying to make this happen. And again, you can recognize these things, but for me they didn't click until I was watching a video about how much an IED costs versus how much damage it does on average. So people can spend $30 on an IED and destroy millions of dollars of equipment. And in another video I was watching about the IRA, they talk about how negotiations didn't start happening until the IRA started taking out infrastructure that costed a lot of money. So, if financial damage is what it took for the English to start negotiating with the Irish, why were we in the Middle East letting millions of dollars get destroyed every day for $30 worth of explosives? Well, it's because destroyed equipment needs to be replaced. If something gets screwed up, someone needs to build a replacement that taxpayers can pay for. And that's what finally clicked it for me. Yes, it is war equals money, but the key factor here is not the production of equipment, it's the destruction of equipment. That's what's profitable. It's not just building a lot of shit, it's building a lot of shit to replace destroyed shit. And soldiers are like fuses designed to be blown out. If the equipment doesn't get destroyed, then it doesn't need to be replaced. So someone needs to be putting this equipment in dangerous situations so it can be destroyed. That's where you come in. This is also where we start talking about contagions or cognitohazards, although I'm sure I'm using that word incorrectly. You're here to do your part. You're here to serve your country, to uphold American values. Or maybe you're here to you're here not to hate what's in front of you, but to protect what's behind you. Or maybe you're here to fight for the guy next to you. You're actually grease. People talk about humans being grease on the gears. I get it now. You exist to put equipment in situations in which it will be destroyed so it can be replaced. And if you somehow don't die, even better, you exist to earn non-profits a whole lot of money. Your suffering becomes medicine's profit, rehab's profit. So you existed to get shit broken so it could be replaced, and you got yourself broken so you could pay other people to fix you. And you did it because of a stupid saying one of your buddies told you, or you saw in a movie, or you played in a game, or you saw on YouTube actually. And before this concept clicked, it still bothered me. I thought trying to help people see the ways they're being manipulated would be the way to go to make a better world. But people will fight you tooth and nail to be manipulated. They want to be grease. They want to get blown apart so some Gen Xer on Robinhood, if that's still going, can earn $60 every quarter. And I think I'm at the point now I'm realizing, or accepting rather, because again, it's not learning, it's learning and then relearning and then relearning until you're willing to accept it. I think I'm at the point I am ready to accept this reality as reality. Instead of trying to fight this cruel, highly profitable mind contagion system, why not invest in it? Some of these defense stocks pay out nice dividends, and they're within your reach, right now even, and they're never going to go anywhere. People were talking about, a while ago, too big to fail doesn't exist. Well, it does. Banks are too big to fail. Our defense industry is too big to fail. If they approach failure, they're going to get bailed out on your dime. So why not twist it around a little bit? Why should you invest in a company that is small enough to fail that you'll lose money on when you could be investing in too big to fail an industry that is going to get bailed out? Your money is going to be protected by the average jackass's money. And I am sure I am critically misunderstanding something about this, but investing in the suffering engine that is never going to go away, that is always going to be fought for, that is always going to be bailed out, seems a lot smarter than pissing it down the drain. And once you've established something, not completely certain, because nothing's completely certain, but maybe a little more certain, then you can funnel some of your charitable nature into people who maybe deserve it. It shouldn't stress you out and make you depressed how viciously people will defend the torture machine, the human meat grinder, the greaser. This is not a tragedy. The tragedy would be you wasting your life trying to help people who don't want to be helped. In fact, people you have no right to help. If people want to be infected with these contagions, that's their right. This isn't a tragedy. For you, this is an opportunity. Support American values. Support the troops. They're dying so you can fill up your gas tank and buy a pack of cigarettes quarterly. And that makes me think maybe there is an America, a United States to believe in. It's not a matter of revolution or reform politically, socially, societally, whatever. It's a matter of looking at the monolith in which you live realistically. You were born in the middle of a fantastic opportunity. Your road to the top is clear, and everyone is giving you every reason to get there as quickly as possible. They are giving you no reasons to feel guilty. And this isn't even in the abstract. If you want reasons not to feel guilty, all you need to do is participate in your community. That's it. And you will be, it's like absolution. You deal with people, you deal with Americans, and your guilt over their circumstances, it goes away in a flash of light. I know it can't be that simple, but you can buy defense stocks and join the winning team right now. You can become a them. You can join the winning team in earnest and root for your side in earnest. You can cheer when we get into a conflict. The establishment will be on your side. Most of society will be on your side. For different reasons, of course, but that doesn't matter. Back-to-back World War champs. Give us a third one. You can say that and mean it. No irony. And you can feel this way specifically because the world is so bad. If the world and people were any better, you'd live your life in chains. In fact, you've probably been living your life in chains forever. You'll probably live your life in chains a bit longer. But once you internalize that you really don't need to give a shit about your countrymen, you can become a patriot. You can make it. And these people are giving you this gift every day. Every day. Every day you wake up, people are giving you this gift. Every time a fucking semi tries to run you off the road. Every time a mechanic overcharges you for something, lies to you, and you are just mechanically inclined enough to realize he's bullshitting you, but not so mechanically inclined you can do anything about it. Your people are angels inviting you to use them. I just had this dream the other night that something formless visited me and told me everything was going to be okay. And it was going to happen by giving war a chance. Take the pain of your existence and learn to see the opportunities in it. They're everywhere. And the reason this is an order development video is I think not just this strategy, but the means by which this strategy was come upon is part of a process. That process, maybe one process of many, or maybe just this part of a larger process, being accepting that things are as they are. There's no should be, there's no hoping, there's no trying to make different. There is what is, and what you can do with what is, rather than what you can think of what should be, or what you can hope could be. The possibility there is no mistake in creation. But we are starting to ramble. Giving to charity or trying to use your money independently in a positive way is like pissing it down a drain. People will fight you viciously for the right to die for you to make you a little bit of money in dividends. Instead of fighting them on their wishes, honor them by earning money using them. And don't feel bad about it. If you think you should feel bad about it, spend more time among your people instead of in your head. Every day, your neighbor wakes up shitty, prepared graciously like an angel to give you every single reason not to care. All you have to do is expose yourself to these foul, blessed beings and let them liberate you from giving a shit. There is no other way the world could be or should be. There is only what is and how you intend to spend your time in it. But that about rippity wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I certainly enjoyed making it. I don't know how to feel. It almost feels like there isn't a way you're supposed to feel anymore. I'm sure whatever this is going to pass, but I don't know what a person is supposed to feel. Like if you enjoyed, because it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit sometimes. And comment your thoughts, because I love hearing from you. Do you invest in defense? If you do, what do you recommend? I didn't realize it looks like you can buy H&K stock. I don't know if it pays dividends. I haven't. I invested a little bit a while ago and had to pull it out. But maybe I'll go back in seriously and make it a habit. I'm not sure. I'd like to be Team H&K. I mean, I kind of am Team H&K. We'll see. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Really, we have a lot of fun on this channel. So much fun. In fact, you can send someone into a furnace carrying the fun, so the fun can be extinguished. The person also gets extinguished, unfortunately. Pray for them, thoughts and prayers, and then that fund can be replaced for a nice sum of money. And you can do it ad infinitum. Decades, centuries maybe, if we're lucky. And that's how much we have on this channel, and I look forward to doing this with you guys again in the future.